Greetings, friends and future friends. Today I want to show you my Headrush pedal board and why I like it more than the other pedal boards. But let's look at these pedal boards and guitar amp simulators. I don't think there's one of them out there, including the Headrush pedal board, that can give you that great guitar sound out of the box. You have to tweak them. You have to play with the parameters to fit the genre of music you're playing and the guitar you're playing and how you're playing it, all to get that great guitar sound. And that all depends on the functionality of the pedal board or guitar amp simulator that you're using. One of the cool things about the Headrush pedal board is the 7-inch touch screen. It gives you the picture of a traditional pedal board, and in some respects, it even acts like a traditional pedal board. So if you want to make a change to a pedal, it's just like a traditional pedal board. You tap on the pedal, and then you'll notice the right of the screen that those numbers have now changed to a background that's the same color as the pedal. If I do the stereo doubler, it'll turn blue, and the flanger turns purple. Then you can adjust the parameters with these three knobs, just like it was a pedal on your pedal board. If there's more than 3 settings on that pedal, you can drag this up and go to the next 3. Or if there's 9 or 12, whatever number of parameters that are on that pedal can be adjusted by sliding it up and down. So once you've adjusted that pedal to suit your sound, you can now save it. And it's real easy. All you have to do is double tap on the pedal, and it brings you up to this screen. Now you hit save, and you can save it as the existing preset that's already there, or save it as a new preset, or I'm going to cancel because that's one of my presets. So what is cool is that you can save all these different presets. Instead of having numerous flangers with different settings, you can have a flanger with all these presets. So if I wanted to change the preset, I double tap, and now I have a whole library. Now all these presets are ones that I created. You can start out with the default settings, and then you can save them as different presets. So now every guitar rig can have its own flanger sound, which is really awesome because now you have a whole library of flanger sounds that you couldn't do with just having one pedal and having it set. Plus, the parameters are pretty precise, so you can adjust it and tweak it right to where you want it and save it as a preset for future use. The other cool thing about the 7-inch touchscreen is pedal placement. If I want to shift a pedal around, all I got to do is drag it to where I want it. If I want to put the flanger in front of the stereo doubler, I just reach down and drag it in front of it. Now I just put the flanger in front of the stereo doubler. And again, you can do that with any pedal or any amp or anything on here. You can move cabinets, amps, anything. It's as easy as that. Now we're back to where we started from. Another thing you need to take in consideration when setting up your pedal board is whether you're going to run the pedals in straight line, one into each other, or running it into a parallel situation. The Headrush pedal board will give you this. You can run it in a straight line configuration, as I have now, or you can tap on the little icon down here below and readjust that. Now we're in a semi-parallel mode. Now we're in another semi-parallel mode. There's different advantages to this, and I'll show you this later. But now let's go back to the single line configuration. One thing you should know, whether you're running your effects parallel or in a single formation, you need to run this board stereo into your rig or your DAW. There's a lot of functionality you can take advantage of when you do that. Let me fire up my guitar here. If you look down there, you'll see RJML2B. And what that means to me is it's Reverend John Michael's lead 2, which is my red guitar, and B, which is my bridge pickup. What's really cool about these guitar amp simulators and all these pedal boards is that you can save a rig to the guitar and even get down to the pickup you're using in that guitar, which is really cool because now I can tweak it to that guitar and to that sound of that pickup coming out of that individual guitar. Another cool thing is how you can set up the Headrush pedal board to help you speed up in your recording process. Like right now, this is my lead guitar rig. Now, the way I have that thing panned, it's right in the center of the mix. You have equal volume out of the left channel and the right channel, which sounds good if you're doing a lead track, but let's do a rhythm track. So let's go to my rhythm rig. First, you're going to see that I have it in a parallel setup, and I'm going to show you some advantages of that. Now, if you're listening on a set of stereo headphones or you have stereo speakers on your PC, you're going to hear this very clearly. But if you listen, this is an old trick that we've been using since the 80s. You take the guitar track and you take one track to the left and one track to the right. Then you put a delay on the right track to give it that great separation. So we've been doing that in post, when you can take the tracks, pan one to the left, one to the right, add the delay. But what's really cool about the Headrush pedal board is that we can do this live. We can do it when we're recording to hear how it sounds before we even lay down the tracks. And this is how you do it. Keep in mind, to take advantage of this effect, you need to be running your Headrush pedal board out in stereo. So what do we got? If you look down there, you'll see two rigs, two amp simulations on the top and on the bottom with cabinets. And you'll see in the middle an icon that says mix. We'll tap on that. If you see, you'll see that A pan is at -100 and B pan is at 100, which means that the top rig is the A, which is the left channel, is panned all the way to the left, and the bottom rig, which is the B pan, is panned all the way to the right. And if you look down there, you'll see A-B delay. What that is delay between the A channel, the left channel, and the B channel, which is the right channel. And we have 18,010. Now that's microseconds. Microseconds are different from milliseconds. So basically what we're looking at, 18,000 microseconds, is about 18 milliseconds. And that's how much delay we have. If you're in a studio and you took those two tracks and you put an 18 millisecond delay, you'd get about the same sound. And if you hear, you can hear that separation. And that's really cool because now when you record into your DAW system, you're going to record a stereo track and it's going to be right there. That delay is already going to be built into those tracks. Another cool thing about the Headrush pedal board is how you can customize the deck to work with you, whether you're playing out live or recording. So if we hold the button down on the left bottom, it brings up this on the pedal: stomp, rig, hybrid, set list, and song. Now if I push stomp, what that's going to do is it's not going to correlate which switch is on this deck to what's on your screen. If we go to hardware assign, you'll see amp, cab, graphic EQ right here. I can turn them on and off. And you can actually program what pedal you want to be in that configuration. Let's get out of this. Let's go back, set this up again. I love hybrid. Hybrid, what hybrid does, if we go to assign, what I've done is set up the pedals on the bottom and set them up on this row here. Let's get back out. Now what I've done is I can control these four pedals, which is on the screen, by these four switches, but I can also go to a different rig. If I want to go to my rhythm rig or back to my lead rig, it changes the whole rig right here. And that is really cool because what you can do is be able to switch from one rig to another just by pushing a button, and also assign those effects pedals that you want to turn on and off during that performance. If I'm going to my lead Sometimes I want a real melodic, high, intense reverb. I can push the reverb 2 and turn reverb 1 off. Now I have my killer reverb for those long sustained notes, and then back to a regular lead reverb. This is really cool because you have your effects on the bottom and your rigs on the top that you can easily access. Last but not least, what's really cool about this Headrush pedal board, and I don't know if any other pedal boards are doing this now, is the way you can adjust the parameters of an effect live while you're playing. So if we go over here and we want to adjust a parameter in the flanger, all we do is hold that pedal. Now the screen changes and the deck of the board changes. You have the depth, feedback, pre-delay, and stereo. So say I want to change the depth. I stomp on that. And now the depth of that flanger is showing up. I can go over to my pedal and I can change that parameter. Once I change it, I can either save it or exit. Exit. You can do that with any effect on that board. Hit my 11 reverb. Boom. Now I have tone, pre-delay, mix, and tails. The mix. I can change the mix just by moving the pedal up and down. Exit. A really cool thing if you're doing something live and you want to change something, or if you're recording and you want to give that extra sustain to a note, you can increase that reverb by using the pedal. Now for me, my pedal boards are up about 8 inches off the ground because I'm using them in the studio. But if you're live, you would have to bend over to change those parameters. But with the Headrush pedal, you don't have to do that. So my friends, this is my Headrush pedal board, and maybe you can see why I like it so much. And maybe there's some things in it that might help you out if you're deciding to buy a Headrush pedal board. Take care, my friends.